It's about 10:45 in the morning on Thursday, October 3rd, 2024. So I think I moved the sheep here Monday. So this is their third day in this row. I got to move them out. Probably this evening I'll move them to the next row. But the real reason I came here this morning, the thing that I was looking forward to doing, was moving the cows from the back 20 and starting them on a rotation, starting from the northern border there. We've already done the first row, so probably the second or third row. Maybe leave the second row for the dogs and the rams that are in a pen. But I come and I observe, and a couple things stood out to me. Number one, there's still lots of grass in this row. So the 17 or 16 calves here, this is Yami, by the way. The 16 calves here, plus the 80 some odd sheep. The ewes should be pregnant. Most of them should be pregnant. Actually, I take that back. The white ones that I bought earlier this year are not old enough probably to breed. Maybe some of them will, but not most of them. And I can see a lot of them, sometimes they have the inflamed rear end, which shows that they're ready to breed. So they're not bred. But I observed that the grass is just, there's a lot left. And there's a lot of grass that I didn't see a few weeks ago. I'm talking specifically about this stuff here. This honestly looks like some kind of fescue or something, which would be weird because I shouldn't have fescue out here. It can't survive the summer heat. And my goodness, Yami, what do you want? You're pawing at me like a dog. I don't have treats for you. Anyway, so I changed my plans. I'm not going to move the cows today. I'm probably going to go back there and take a tour, see how much grass they have left. I'm breaking one of my rules by leaving the cows back there for so long. And that rule, in simple terms, is just don't leave animals on a particular patch of ground for more than 3 days. And the reason for that rule is, number one, parasites. The parasites tend to hatch, the worms, they tend to hatch in about that time, so there's a good chance of spreading the parasites back to the cows or the sheep. We want to break that cycle so that the sheep and the cows aren't eating their own parasites, and the parasites are rapidly multiplying inside their guts there. But probably the second and maybe the more important rule is that the grass, when it's nibbled at, it kind of goes dormant for a few days, probably expecting the animal to move on, and then it starts to shoot up fresh green leaves from its root reserves, right? And if an animal were to come at that precious moment when the grass has invested its resources into growing new leaf and were to nibble that leaf away, that would greatly reduce the ability or the stores of that grass plant and probably kill it, right? And so if that happens, then the grass dies, and you have to hope that some of the grass seed survived, or maybe some of the grass next to it will spread over and repopulate that particular area. But by allowing the animals to be more than 3 days on a particular spot of ground, you're basically condemning the grass to death, because the animals will seek out those fresh green shoots and eat those first. So they have a habit of going back to where they grazed and nibbling at those tender shoots. So that's one of the reasons why we have to move the animals off after 3 days, and one of the reasons why I'm going to move them out of this row. For my neighbor's back 20, though, which I'm kind of using as a backup stockpile, and the only reason they're back there, honestly, is because of the fence. I'm not too concerned about grass regrowth. I probably should be, but I'm not. And so I think I've left them back there for about a week now, and I'll probably leave them back there for a couple more days. Maybe I'll move them on Monday or Tuesday and start the next rotation. I just kind of want to eat the grass that's back there down a little bit more. I'm not too concerned about the regrowth, especially because we're in the autumn. And if there is any regrowth, it's not going to be much. So the plants are going to go to sleep soon, in a matter of weeks, and they're not going to regrow at all until March. So, and from my observations, there's really no big advantage to the grass by leaving it alone. You don't really get more or less regrowth in March. In some ways, the areas where I had the cows on the sacrificial area, that ground seemed to grow back better in the spring, but poorer in the summer. So, so I'm not too concerned one way or the other, but I am breaking one of my rules, and if I were more diligent, I wouldn't do that. So anyway, that's my thoughts for this rotation. I record these thoughts so I can go back and review them and think about what I was thinking and what I was doing and make adjustments to my plan. I've got the rows as thin as I dare. Any thinner, then there's a good chance the animals are going to break out. 100 feet is about the limit. And with the length of my field being half a mile, 2,500 feet, 2,560 feet, that gives me a 24 rows or 12-week rotation, which is about as long as I think the ground needs to recover. So 6 weeks should be plenty of time. 12 weeks is more than enough time. And if I cut off half the pasture and just leave that to rest for a season, that means it's a 6-week rotation. So, and I'm fine with that. The temperature, it's about 80 something degrees. When I woke up, it was 60. So we're getting temperatures in the 60s at night. Nice and cool. Then it heats up, and today's going to be 93, according to the forecast that I saw. Ooh, the ducks are here. So it's going to get warm. But anyway, that's what I got for you guys. Have a great day. Take care, and bye-bye.